Are you a Canadian planning to travel to Europe for a long trip? Did you know that there is a 90-day rule when you travel to Europe as a Canadian? My name is Safia. I'm a travel blogger and a Solo Nomad ambassador, and I am absolutely in love with the European continent. I've traveled to more than 21 countries in Europe, and I cannot wait to add some to that list. Today, I'll tell you how you can travel around Europe as a Canadian for 90 days, which is roughly 3 months. We'll talk about everything that there is to know about the Schengen zone, and I will answer some of the most common questions about traveling to Europe, such as how often can you travel to Europe as a Canadian? How can I stay in Europe for more than 90 days? And of course, how to calculate 90 days in Europe. Make sure you watch this video until the end as I share with you my insider tip to avoid going over the Schengen 90-day rule. With this amazing tool, you'll know exactly how to calculate your stay in Europe for your next trip. The first question that I see everywhere is, can I travel anywhere in Europe with the Schengen visa? Well, first thing, for Canadians, there is no such thing as a Schengen visa if you visit Europe as a tourist for less than 90 days. That being said, there has been an announcement that in 2024, Canadians will need an ETS visa, meaning that you will need to apply for a visa before visiting European countries. It's not effective right now, so as of today, you do not need to apply for a specific visa to travel to Europe or in the Schengen zone in 2023. Good news, right? You might ask yourself, how long can I stay in Europe as a Canadian? Because you might be a snowbird and you're wondering, can I stay 6 months in Spain to avoid the winter in Canada? Unfortunately, it's not really possible. Canadians don't need a visa to get around Schengen area countries if they stay for less than 90 days, within a period of 180 days. But there is good news in this. If you plan carefully, there is a way that you can spend more than 6 months in Europe, again, if you plan carefully. Let's try to unravel a little bit of this. What is the Schengen zone versus all of Europe? The Schengen zone is a group of European countries that are united by a set of uniform borders and regulations. What this means for you is that you're free to roam from one country to the next. All you need is a valid passport. Okay, what are the countries that are members of the Schengen area? Out of the 44 countries in Europe, 27 are part of the Schengen area, and I will go through that list with you. You have Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. Again, what you need to remember is that those 27 countries are part of the Schengen area, meaning that you can stay a maximum of 90 days within a 180-day period. Remember that next time you plan your trip. How do I calculate 90 days in 180 days for the Schengen visa? It can get really confusing when you know that you have to calculate because you're not sure how to calculate 90 days in Europe. I will do a little example of an itinerary just to kind of make this a little bit easier for you to understand. So let's say you're planning to go to France this fall and then travel to Ireland and Switzerland. Here's your itinerary. You go to France, which is part of the EU and part of the Schengen, from September 18 to October 1st. So that's a total of 13 days. Then you want to visit Ireland, which is part of the EU, but not part of the Schengen area, from October 1st to October 20th. So it's a total of 19 days. After that, you're planning on going to Switzerland. Switzerland, not part of the EU, but part of the Schengen. Are you following me here? It gets confusing, but follow me in this itinerary. You go to Switzerland from October 20th to October 30th. So that's a total of 10 days. And you return to France before coming back to Canada from October 30th to November 15th. That is a total of 16 days. Based on that itinerary that I've just described, you would have spent a total of 58 days in Europe, and 39 of them would count towards that 90-day in the Schengen zone area, because obviously your stay in Ireland didn't count toward the Schengen area zone. One tip that I can give you is to always plan a few days in your itinerary as buffer in case of complications, delays, or any cancellation in your travel plans. You don't want to cut it short by being exactly at the 90-day mark because, yes, there are some penalties. What happens and how strict is the 90-day rule in Europe? What are the penalties for staying over the 90-day in the Schengen area? What happens if you completely miscalculated and you spend over 90 days in Europe in Schengen countries? Don't forget, stay till the end of the video because I will share with you that tool that will help you calculate those days. All comes down to the border agent. Yes, it can be strict, but maybe you're lucky and that border agent miscalculated, but it is ultimately your own responsibility to make sure that you calculate those days and that you do not overstay your visa. There are some countries around the world where you can pay your way out of overstaying a visa. It is not the case in Europe. It is to your own risk to overstay that visa. It is not recommended at all because you would not want to be banned from visiting Europe. Yes, they can be very strict. Some countries are more strict than others. Some are a bit more lax, but it's very much a game of roulette to kind of take that gamble as to will the border officer or will the country that I'm crossing more strict towards that 90-day rule. But don't despair. There are ways to stay longer in Europe. Out of the 44 countries in Europe, only 27 are part of the Schengen area, which means that there are other non-Schengen area that you can visit, which will allow you to extend that European vacation over that 90-day limit. And those countries are Albania, Andorra, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Georgia, Macedonia, Moldova, Monaco, Montenegro, San Marino, Serbia, Turkey, and Vatican City. These are all countries that you can visit, as well as the UK. The UK, now that it is out of the European Union, it is also out of the Schengen area. Your visit to the UK, including Scotland, Ireland, Wales, do not count towards your 90-day in the Schengen zone area. If you're between 18 and 35, did you know that you can apply for a working holiday visa? This kind of visa allows you to work and travel in more than 20 different European countries for 1 year or 2 years, depending on the country or the destination. That is a great opportunity for you if you wish to stay longer than that 90-day or 3-month period in Europe as a Canadian. There are also some countries that offer a visa for digital nomads, such as Portugal, the Netherlands, Hungary, Georgia, Malta, and Latvia. With this kind of visa, you can also stay longer than the 90-day tourist visa that is allowed for Canadians traveling to Europe. And finally, there are some countries that offer a retirement visa if you fit all the specification to apply for that visa. On the Government of Canada website, you can find all the necessary information to travel to these countries, and you'll get to know if they have a digital nomad visa, if you can do a working holiday visa if you're between the ages of 18 to 35, or if there's a retirement visa that is available. Now we're there, the part that you've been waiting for, the ultimate amazing tool. There is, thankfully, a calculator that you can use and that can help you calculate how many days you have left, or to plan accordingly in advance how many days that you are taking into your Schengen zones. All you have to do is use that tool, put in your date of entry, your date of exit for each of the countries, hit calculate, and that's it. It will tell you the remaining days that you can stay in the Schengen area. Now that you're ready for an extended stay into Europe, if you ask yourself, how long can I stay in Europe as a Canadian? Remember, there is a 90-day limit for countries inside the Schengen zone. Come back to this video anytime for the list of countries that are members of the Schengen area when you travel to Europe as a Canadian. We also spoke about what happens if you spend over 90 days in Europe in the Schengen zone as a Canadian, and mostly the tips that you can use if you wish to stay longer than 90 days in Europe. If you're planning your travel to Europe and the Schengen area in the near future, don't forget to sign up for Trusted Travel Insurance for peace of mind. Talk to a SoNomad agent now to find the right plan for your travel insurance. In the description down below, I'll leave a link to get a quick quote online, or a phone number if you prefer to call to get your quote. If you have any question regarding Canadians traveling to Europe or any Schengen countries for a long period of time, do not hesitate to write them in the comment, and we'll happily answer all of your questions that you may have about traveling to Europe and the Schengen zone. Thanks for joining us today. And if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. And also, for more travel tips and tricks, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Happy travel planning to Europe.